Give you the latest cancer information. Most of the time when we bring you cancer stories, we talk about adults who are struggling. But cancer does not just affect adults, but also the very, very young. CBS 11's Matthew Simon has more in our Cancer Connection program.
It has now been exactly 2 years since a small Raspberry neighborhood did something huge for a little boy. Cancer, specifically leukemia, was killing the 5-and-a-half-year-old. His doctors told his family he probably would not make it to his favorite holiday, Halloween. So his family passed around a few flyers. They thought maybe a dozen houses would allow the little boy to trick-or-treat early. Instead, they were totally unprepared for the response that still follows today.
Hello, Isabel.
Trick or treat. There you go.
Put it in. There you go.
With every piece of candy, you can tell how much Ian Robbins loves trick-or-treating.
This is a picture of my son, Ian. It was taken 2 years ago.
2 years after leukemia took Ian, he's still trick-or-treating. What started as an early celebration is now a living memorial.
Speaking very candidly, you know, this is just a day that I get to remember Ian and, you know, talk about him to other people. There are a lot of stories out there, and through this trick-or-treat in the heat as we're knocking on our neighbors' doors, we're hearing the, oh, I'm a cancer survivor, or let me tell you about my niece because she had this and didn't make it. And there are many stories out there.
Through Ian's death, now early Halloween has transformed into an important childhood cancer awareness tool.
There are kids being diagnosed every single month here in Alaska with childhood cancer, and these kids have a long road ahead of them.
With childhood cancer, children's hospital officials remind parents to look out for early warning signs, including long periods where your child lacks energy and generally does not feel well, bruising, headaches, vision problems, and dizziness.
As parents, you got to trust your gut and trust what you know about your child. You know when something's not quite right. So trust those instincts.
A lot of ways it brings an awareness that cancer does affect small children.
Pamela Geppert's little girl was born with a deadly brain tumor, but 7 years later, she's out with all these kids trick-or-treating.
I remember my husband and I were just hoping we could make it to see her start kindergarten, and she's in first grade now, so things are looking good.
Oh my goodness. It's kind of when you lose someone, there's a hole. And certainly over time, the edges become a little bit rough, but there's still that void there. And this is one tremendous day that I get to fill in that hole a little bit.
On KTVA.com right now, we have posted links to make you much more aware of childhood cancer warning signs and ways you can help. Just click on Cancer Connection, then links. In the studio, Matthew Simon, CBS 11 News.
And $8,000 for children's cancer research was raised during the event. Well, also as part of our Cancer Connection program, it is time to remind you to call your buddy as part of our Cancer Check 11. So on the 11th of every month, we encourage both women and men to pick a Cancer Check buddy and encourage that person to make sure they have completed a monthly breast or testicular self-exam. On KTVA.com right now, there are instructions on how to do both of those self-checks. Well, the publisher of the Anchorage